$1 million, 10 years, zero excuses. In this video, we're going to outline a step-by-step process for anyone to generate $1 million in net worth. Will it be easy? No, nothing worth doing ever is. Job, career and business. If you found this video, you're in luck. You can easily tell the difference between a job, career and a business as follows. 1. Job. Trading time for money. 2. Career. Trading performance for money. 3. Business. You have created an establishment that will make money while you sleep. That summarizes every single position in the world. 80% of people will not understand what this means, and they will continue to trade their time for money. This makes it impossible to become rich, and at around 33 to 35 years old, they become bitter and jaded, as they did not hit their goals. Job. A job is only acceptable as a temporary position. You can take a job only under the condition that it is 1. Not minimum wage. And 2. You can transfer the skills to your future career or business. No exceptions to this rule. People who are willing to work for free are begging for help. In addition, the only person willing to hire free labor does not have the power to afford quality paid-for labor. How are you going to learn from someone who can't even afford to pay you $15 to $20 an hour? You're a human being and deserve to cover your bills, even if you are learning for the most part. Besides, if he's willing to pay you, he's thinking of ways to leverage your skills long-term as he finds what type of intelligence you have. To drive the point home, if you're even thinking about taking an unpaid position, we're going to assume you're lazy. Why? If you're actually willing to work hard, then you would have put in the time to find a position you would be paid for. Doesn't get much simpler than that. The only person who is willing to work for free is simply a fool. Perhaps there is an exception to this rule, but we haven't seen it. Maybe if you get to work with Warren Buffett, you can go ahead and work for free. But working for any large company for free is simply a bad move. Your time is worth at least $15 an hour. Career. A career is a performance-based position. Do not be fooled by high salaries or high hourly wages. Even if you're making $100 an hour, that is only $200,000 per year. The company will do everything in its power to prevent you from making more money than that. The deadliest company trick in the book is paying someone more than they are worth in the early years. Then, proceed to pay them less than they are worth as they remain at the company. This is a classic move done in high-salaried positions such as consulting. Dangle the carrot of making partner, burn them in their early 30s. 1 out of around 40 make the partner jump and get that equity. You see this trick time and time again in many industries. Reiteration: a career is a performance-based position. Many careers provide extremely low salaries with large performance upside. Think 30-70 split, where 30% of your compensation comes from salary and 70% comes from performance fees on a quarterly, semi-annual, or annual basis. Absorb the pain. The beauty of a sales role is that the skills are transferable into any industry. If you are good at sales, you will always have income. If you can convince someone to fork over $50,000 for an enterprise business-to-business product, you're going to have no problem selling cars if you hit a rough patch in your life. The second variation of performance is equity. This is where the engineers come into play, not the ones who work solely for a capped salary. Equity is just a cute word for ownership. You are in a performance-based position because your net worth is directly tied to the valuation of the company you work for. If you can expand the net income line by $100,000, and it obtains a 10 times earnings multiple, that's $1 million. Just make sure you're able to negotiate a fair slug of equity, so you get more than $2 of that $1 million valuation increase. Business. In this situation, you leverage all of your skills. Every single talent you have is poured into your business. A business is something that makes money even as you do nothing. Of course, if you do nothing for multiple years, it will likely die. But you've created a system that makes money in your sleep. Etch this quote into your brain. you are hardworking or you're smart. You cannot be both. When you have no skills, you're forced to become hardworking. You're killing yourself day in and day out to learn valuable transferable skills. Eventually, you have learned enough. You jump from working hard to leveraging all of your talents into scaling an actual company. At this point, once you're generating meaningful revenue, you're looking to hire hardworking people who don't have the skills to start a company yet. This is a huge jump. The building phase takes a lot of effort, and once you're generating a meaningful amount of money, you need to be able to spot talent. If you can do this, they will help you build a meaningful business. After they learn the ropes, they will probably leave to start their own venture. Long term, you both win. In short, if you're young, you may need to take a job to build small skill sets to get into the career you are longing for. Once you hit age 22, you should not work in a job ever again. Business or career only. In our opinion, it is best to learn the ropes in a career for at least 3 to 4 years before starting a business. If you're already running a scalable business, then this entire section could be skipped. Building transferable skills. Now that you've got the framework, it is time to define what a transferable skill is. In short, a transferable skill is an intangible skill. Funny. Many people think that tangible skills are the best, but those can be outsourced. Anyone can learn how to build a financial model. Anyone can learn how to read a graph. Anyone can copy and paste numbers from an SEC filing. Anyone can do basic arithmetic. In short, if it can be learned in less than a month, it's not a transferable skill. Transferable skills are any skills that are unique to you. A simple person-to-person example? A fast-twitched athlete would be unique to you. This would directly oppose a slow-twitch endurance athlete. Neither is good nor bad. They are simply unique to you, and your development of them will determine how good your talents are. On a more important note, let us focus on transferable skills for money-making. Sales. You already knew this one was coming. If you're good at sales, you will always make at least $200,000. Emphasis on good. You sell to people with money, or you sell extremely expensive items to wealthy men. That's generally how the market is split up. If you are good at sales, you are not selling to your typical middle-class man. Why? He is usually a weird frugal guy who refuses to buy anything. You sell to either women or you sell to wealthy men who are willing to pay a premium for high-quality products and services. Networking. This is somewhat similar to sales, the only difference is that you don't need to transfer a feeling. It is a lot easier than sales. Become a trusted source of good information. Then, link two people who will mutually benefit. You will collect a commission for doing this. Why? It has a lot of value if you're able to realize that person A needs person B's skills, and you're the person who figures it out. That skill cannot be taught. It is valuable and not replicable by a sweatshop in India. Production improvement. This is largely overlooked. Many people say, "I can't think of a new idea or product." So what? It doesn't matter. What about improving the actual efficiency of the product or business? This is either on the cost side or on the revenue side of the equation. If you tell a company that you can reduce its costs by 25% at a cost of just 5%, they are going to hand you money. On the other side, if you can improve their sales funnel that results in a revenue increase of 5 to 10%, they will pay you a few hundred basis points for that product. You don't need to recreate the wheel, make the wheel run smoother. Basic maintenance. The most obvious example would be property management. Creating a quick stream of income in a niche neighborhood and managing properties for wealthy individuals. Once you gain the trust of a few wealthy men, they will refer you to other wealthy individuals looking for some monthly income. Once you've gotten the tasks down, it becomes an easy monthly paycheck. Notably, you can do this for many other industries as well. Just look at TaskRabbit as an example of outsourced services for menial needs. Continuity. Ah yes, the Holy Grail. You're able to private label your product, and you've set up a monthly rebill. All your income comes from the rebill, and gaining the customer is the real headache. The manufacturing of the product is meaningless since anyone can set up the infrastructure in China. The real skill is getting the quality up, getting the sale up, and making sure other people don't try to steal all of your market share. The best example is one everyone knows of: Netflix. Probably the best rebill on the planet. In short, we don't know what you're good at. Maybe you're better at creating the product. Maybe you're better at selling. Maybe you're better at improving efficiency. We simply don't know. What we do know, however, is that you need to find your niche skills and begin leveraging them. Time is not on your side, and if you waste it trying to target meaningless niches, you're going to go belly up in a hurry. The quick and dirty $1 million math. Many people skipped the first two sections and jumped here. $1 million in 10 years is not that difficult. We would wager that you'll clear this figure in 7 to 8 years instead of 10. Before we simply brush off this number as easily obtainable, we're going to outline the requirements here. Assuming you start at $0. 1. Give up 3 years and you will be free. 2. You will not work less than 70 hours a week for the first 3 years. 3. You will have 2 forms of income by year 5 to 6 at minimum. 4. You will not waste your time fixing weaknesses and will focus on your strengths. 5. You will not try to regurgitate another product unless it is the only product, and you will take second place. If you break one of these rules, you're unlikely going to succeed. We're not too worried about your spending habits or your current skills, because it is incredibly easy to make $100,000 a year if you work 70 hours a week for 3 years. After year 3, you will be efficient and you won't crack more than 50 to 60 hours a week unless you made bad decisions. Besides, to make $100,000 a year, you only need to make around $27 an hour. A typical career will pay you north of $100,000 out the gate if you're in a major city. If not, well, follow the path below anyway. Year 1. As already mentioned, your first 3 years are going to be dreadful. You will encounter many battles with self-doubt. You will fail many times over and over and over again. You will work hard. By the end of year 1, you will realize that the only people who watch motivational videos are the weak. You will fade into the abyss as you are forced to drop contact with many people due to your rigorous work schedule. In year 1, here is your goal. Find your talent. Only in year 1 are you allowed to work a job. You will likely work 2 jobs if you haven't found a career yet. You work in one that is focused on intent, and you will work in another focused on synthesis. Once you find out which one you're good at, you jump into that career. Net income: $80,000 to $100,000. Net worth: around $40,000. Note numerics is left off. If you are good at numerics, you don't need to find where your talents lie. Year 2. You are now in a performance-based position. It does not matter which type of performance you choose. You are simply leveraging your talents. Do not listen to what other people are telling you to do, you're following your talents. Why? The masses don't know anything anyway. By year 2 you must have a career at minimum. If you're extremely talented, go ahead and jump into business. But generally, you're going to spend a couple of years in the career zone. You'll work on your business ideas on the side. Finally, if you're only working 50 hours a week, find a side job for another 20 hours. Don't settle and break the rules. Expected income: $120,000 to $140,000. Net worth: around $80,000 to $100,000. Year 3. The last 2 years have been awful. You feel like you haven't accomplished much, but in reality, you have. Your skill set is currently being honed and you've got some money in the bank to show for it. For some, you're going to spend more time on a side business, while others still need a bit more time in their career. This is typically a dark and boring year, but you're much more efficient. 70 hours are clipped, and you're only up about 10%. Expected income: $135,000 to $155,000. Net worth: around $150,000. Year 4. By now, you know what you're doing. You have at least one idea for a business that is based on your transferable skills: sales, networking, production improvement, basic maintenance, and continuity. In an ideal world, everyone hits the continuity button. That said, you're now going to focus about 45 hours into your career, and that remaining time is going to be spent on your side business idea. You're going to see a minimal increase in earnings for the year and build up a brand and reputation. Expected income: $150,000 to $170,000. Net worth: around $225,000. Year 5. This is typically a banner year for those in a serious career. Around year 5, you're finally generating real revenue for a firm. You are also hitting your stride in efficiency. If you're still working 60 hours or more a week, then you're either a poor employee or you are not well positioned politically within the firm. When you make the leap on Wall Street, this usually means a 50% move in compensation. If not, well, you're still in the low second range. Since we don't know a person's specific career path, we'll assume another 10 to 15% move, as you're still spending a good 20 hours or so on your side business. Expected income: $170,000 to $200,000. Net worth: $310,000. Year 6 to 8. Now we're into the good years. You should be hitting your stride and getting ready to pull the event button soon. If your side business has been growing for about 3 years, this is usually where the traction starts to show up. If you wasted your time trying to copy products, or you wasted your time targeting niche fields with no money, you're going to be in pain. Since you're watching this video, we assume you didn't make that foolish mistake, and you've got traction. Either A, it's now generating a decent amount of money for you, around $50,000. Or B, you're realizing the growth is outpacing your career income growth. You either quit or gather a team so you can have 2 forms of income. Your income should continue to go up by about 10%, but will flatline you at $200,000 plus $50,000 from the side. You're saving $125,000 easily. Expected income: $250,000. Net worth: $685,000 as of year 8. Year 9 and 10. Well, you've made it already. By giving up 3 years of your life, you're now a millionaire. You're about 31 years old and you put away another $250,000 plus market returns on all of your investments. We can squabble all day about how much you will actually have at 30. But in reality, $1 million by 30 is easily attainable with this game plan. In fact, we'd go ahead and say you'll exceed this number over the course of a decade. Using Wall Street as an example, by 27 years old, you should be at the $350,000 to $500,000 marker, and that alone will push you over the next 3 years. The real smart ones simply build that second form of business income and throw it into the bank. $50,000 a year is an easy sum to achieve even if you are lazy and decide to write copy on the side. Expected income: $250,000. Net worth: $1 million. In short, now you realize why it is important to put the big blocks up first. If you're trying to catch someone who is already in year 5 of the described plan, you will be hurting. Year 1 effort is always significantly harder than year 5 effort from an energy standpoint. In addition, this is a clear step-by-step year-by-year outline of how to leverage your skills to make money. Don't bother listening to other people who claim it is not possible because they are not willing to put in the work. Find that career. Find that side income. Scale. The side income will more likely than not be neck and neck with the career income by year 8 on the timeline. We'll happily bet money on that one. That's it for part 1. Subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the second part, where we will delve deeper into the side income piece of the equation, as well as finding a real work-life balance. I'll see you in the next episode. Banks or zeros?